Day 919. I was just thinking, I was just about to walk inside and I just had this thought, like I have read things or heard things or saw things or something like that where someone was talking about how, or maybe it's just in the Bible, but what we do on this earth, in this life, will determine our position in heaven, and it will determine the level of responsibility that God can trust us with in heaven. And that in heaven there will be people that oversee cities and nations and people and things, and that when you are living this life, like, God is testing your heart. He's seeing how much he can trust you, because if he could trust you in this world, then he can trust you in the kingdom of heaven. You know, it's kingdom. It's the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom has a lot of things to manage. It needs a lot of managers. It needs a lot of people who are going to steward the kingdom. And so I was just thinking about that. I'm like, man, you know, it's like God is testing us with this life to see the purity of our heart, to see the choices that we'll make. So he knows where he can trust us in heaven, what position he can put us in heaven. And so if he could test our hearts here, then he knows where to put us when we're in heaven. And it's just like, man, that's such a wildly different perspective on life, because it takes your focus off of this world and focuses on heaven. And it takes your focus off of what you're trying to achieve here, and instead of where you want to be in heaven. What kind of responsibility do you want to have in heaven? What kind of creativity, what kind of partnership with God do you want to have in heaven? Do you want to be a citizen, or do you want to be a leader? Yeah, it's just a different thought process. You know, it's like, can he trust you with a nation in heaven? Can he trust you with a city in heaven? Can he trust you to sit, you know, on one of his thrones? Like, can he trust you to rule over people? Can he trust you to choose him in all situations? Can he trust you to not let the darkness in, but to choose the light? Can he trust you to not be tempted? Like, it's just like, it just hit me like, man, this whole life is about how much can he trust you? How much can he trust you with the money he gives you? How much can he trust you with the souls that he sends you? Like, how much can he trust you? And based on what we do in this life will determine how we spend eternity in heaven, and what role we have and what responsibility we have. And it's just like, that's a different way of looking at life, but it's so powerful. And I really believe that that's true. And I'm just excited to make everything that I'm doing about God and saving souls and heaven, and just turn everything I'm doing into God, and to just let go of the things of this world and focus on the kingdom of heaven. Like, just focus on kingdom, everything kingdom, bringing kingdom to my business, where it's like, Chris, you're going to try to make the most money you can, or are you going to try to make the biggest impact? Are you going to try to have the most success or save the most souls? Like what can God trust you with? Because whatever you pursue in this life is going to show him, like, what's in your heart. Because what you pursue is what you worship. And it's like, are you going to worship success? Are you going to save souls? Like, what are you going to focus on? And so he's given me this amazing framework to help so many people find their purpose and find God. And am I going to withhold that from the world? Am I going to withhold it for a certain dollar amount? Or am I going to make it accessible to the world and trust that he's going to provide? And am I going to make it accessible to all these churches and trust that he will provide? Like, of course he's going to provide. So I need to start thinking bigger, and thinking like in a whole new perspective of, Chris, you're interviewing right now for a position in heaven, and your life on earth is an interview, and God is testing you to see where he can trust you, with how many people he can trust you, with who he can trust you, with how many resources he can trust you with. And so this is your opportunity to show him that he can trust you, or that he can't. It's like this physical world is so real, it's so tangible that it just takes so much of our focus and our thoughts and our energy and our effort. And we put so much effort into this life that we forget about eternity, and that this is temporary, but heaven is for eternity. We put so much effort into temporary and so little effort into eternity. And I'm sure when we all get to heaven, we're going to look back and we're going to be like, oh my God, that whole life was going to determine how I spend eternity? Like, oh my gosh, I wish I could go back and change this and do this and pursue this. And oh, why didn't I change this? Why didn't I lead more people back to God? But that's it. That's all you get. Like, that's how you get to spend eternity based on what you did on this planet. And so life is short compared to eternity. And so it's like, are we obsessed and stuck in this life and taking this life to the next level? Or are we going to get obsessed and focused on how we're going to spend eternity? It's two completely different lives to live there. So yeah, it's just hitting me like, wow. Crazy and amazing. God is good.